What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S.Akuma coming back to you with another video, and today is the first of many feature matches that I had throughout the SDCC pack tournament. This is round 2. Keep in mind, round 1 I wasn't able to record because of space issues, but after everything was said and done and everything got settled, there was a good amount of space and I was able to stay in the same area for the remainder of the tournament as I got footage. So this is one of the matches, of course, that I talked about in my tournament report. I am facing against the Wheeljack, Fireflight, and Wheeljack deck. I missed the roll. Looks like I won the dice roll and I decided to go first. And this is what I was talking about in my last video, where I should have been going second against, you know, these decks, especially only being 3 wide. I just naturally have, you know, more attacks than him. But jumping right into it, deciding who to flip. I flip Silverbolt, deal 1 to Wheeljack, and attack with Skydive and into Fireflight because I have to. Alright, so he does flip 1 blue, so he doesn't even take 1 damage on the Fireflight, so it's still a stalemate at this point. He draws for his turn, he flips Wheeljack, or whoa, he flips Bumblebee, and no action or upgrade. He just decides to attack, and he pitches a rollout to draw 2 cards, and he forgets to draw the 2 first. Moving a little fast, okay. So draws the 2 first, and then flips 2 oranges rather, so he attacks me for 7. With my tough 2, I end up having 6 defense, so I take 1. Or I take 2 rather. 5 defense. Okay, so I take 2. Deciding here whether to get Sparring Gear or Noble's Blaster. Sparring Gear seems like a good choice. Oh, but I decided to get nothing. Okay, my hand just must be that good. I gotta say, the comic book store, however they had their lighting set up, I'm very happy to say that there were no glare issues at this tournament. How I had it set up and the angle I had it set up at was perfect. Wish I can get all my tournament footage to be like this, but okay. So I flip Alpha Bravo marksmanship on the Bumblebee since he is in bot mode. For my action, looks like I have a reinforced plating in my hand, so that's probably had that and another armor. So 2 to cover his 2 bashing shields that he has throughout his flips. 2 or 3, I'm gonna assume. Okay, so I did have Sparring Gear. So I had 2 armors in hand because I saw through my shuffling. I had Security Console and Reinforced Plating, so there was no reason for me to get the Sparring Gear. Seeing that I had 2 armors and the rest of my hand was good enough that I didn't need to get a 3rd armor. So I decided to go in with the Silverbolt onto the B and deal 2 damage, putting the Bumblebee at 4 with 4 damage counters. He trades improvised shields for looks like press the advantage, and I pass turn. Alright, so one of the best plays, if not the best action in that deck, start your engines, especially on B, is really solid because you can flip the B back to alt mode and activate an extra action. He decides to ram me speed my Sparring Gear, so which means he still has his bashing shields to deal with my armors as I get them. And then for his upgrade for the turn, he upgrades Fireflight with Noble's Blaster and attacks into, I'm going to assume, Silverbolt. So he flips an orange, so he's at 4 attack. Okay, yeah, he does attack Silverbolt, and I take 1 damage. I flipped a double blue, so don't really understand what's going on here. Oh, I think he was looking for a weapon for Wheeljack, possibly. And I don't think he had one at this point because we talked about it, how through all those flips he still didn't have a weapon yet. So generally at this point, you know, I have to attack Fireflight, so I have to find a way to deal with the Fireflight so I can at least be able to get to the B and the Wheeljack at some point throughout the match. But as you can see right now, I only have 3 damage total on my bot, so by the time Superion does come out, you know, Superion, if he has enough health, you know, he'll be able to survive a lot of hits, even big hits, and still be able to fight back fairly well. So at this point, I'm looking for a Inferno Breath. You know, you'd always like to see Inferno Breath in your hand as an Aerialbot player. It looks like I'm not getting it. So at some point I'm going to have to just attack with my Fireflight for a useless attack, just to get him to continuously attack the Fireflight. can't really leave him untapped forever, unfortunately, unless I have like the bigger they are or something. But even in this situation, the bigger they are wouldn't do anything to his Fireflight, of course, because we're both 5 stars. But this is just setting up for him to have to be forced to attack the Fireflight. And I think since I have the reinforced plating in my hand as well, especially if he doesn't kill the Fireflight this turn, then I also put a reinforced plating on the Fireflight to make him even sturdier to defend from the card player's attacks. So he attacks the Fireflight. He puts an inverted on the Fireflight. So his deck is predominantly orange heavy. So now all his orange flips will be blue. He attacks with the bee. I missed if he used the effect or not. He gets a good amount of damage on the Fireflight though, so I probably won't use that reinforced plating on the Fireflight now, because he can easily just overpower, you know, my Fireflight with the Wheeljack. So, but what's good for me is he didn't kill the Fireflight, so I have to, I'm throwing cards here. What's good for me is he has to attack the Fireflight again. So having to put 2 attacks into the same bot and being forced to, being that Firefly has Brave, puts me in a solid position. So far total I have 8 damage spread across my bots. I think his Fireflight is unharmed and his bee has 4 and his Wheeljack has 1 damage on it so far. Taking a while here to decide who to upgrade. Doesn't make sense again to put the plating on the Fireflight, since the Wheeljack will definitely overpower my Fireflight with only 2 health left, so it's not worth it. But at least I can get another draw out of the security console, and he has to waste another attack on the Fireflight. So I decided to put the console on the Skydive because Skydive has survivability. If I put the security console on any other character, Wheeljack can still just run it over, and you know, I won't. The security console won't have as much value because it'll just be lost after 1 attack. But on Skydive is a possibility he will survive the attack and can possibly get future use out of this security console. All right, so the bigger they are, or Alpha Bravo, excuse me, and attack into the Fireflight. Fireflight already had 1 damage on it, so it puts it at 4 total, which makes it in range for Superion to kill it with its effect. He draws for his turn, and he plays another Start Your Engines and does the play where he flips Bumblebee into alt mode, switches it to attack mode, and I don't know if he's triggering the effect or not. Okay, he decides not to activate another action. He just uses his flip for the turn to flip the Bumblebee back. Backup beam. Alright. I draw for console first. I don't decide to stack because even if I stack a double blue, I'm most likely not going to survive the attack, so I don't bother. Bold 2. Looks like he flipped the white, kind of off screen here, so can't really tell how much he has, but we'll find out here in a second. It's probably enough to KO, yeah. I only have 4 defense. I'm sure he had a lot more than that to KO the Fireflight. Plus, also putting the security console on the Skydive will entice him not to attack it, so that way when Superion comes out, Superion will keep the console. If I put the console on anyone else, if he goes to attack it and gets rid of the console, as you can see, 1 console was already gone off of the Fireflight. If he gets rid of that console, it's kind of hard to draw, you know, a card like that that's not a green icon card. So seeing 2 of them in 1 game, I value a lot. So in this situation, you know, shying him away from attacking the Skydive is actually beneficial for me because now the security console will stay on Superion when he's combined. So at this point I have 1 more attack, has to go on Fireflight again, and Air Raid is my strongest attacker, but I may or may not be able to pierce its defenses depending on how many blues oranges he flips that turn into blue. I almost go to flip Skydive here. Or did I already flip this turn? I might have already flipped this turn. Okay, so I put a plating on the Alpha Bravo. Oh, okay, so I had a chance to combine this turn, but I didn't. I wanted to get use out of that security checkpoint, and I think I knew he got Bastion Shield earlier, so that's why I did it. Okay, I was wondering why I didn't combine this turn, so I didn't bother flipping the skydive to again shy him away from attacking the skydive, and I played my armor, and then I also played security checkpoint, and I hit I think 1 or 2 cards this turn. More importantly, the Bastion Shield, but he ends up getting another Bastion Shield off his flips. But you know, it is what it is. What can he do about that? And I wasn't in a serious need to combine this turn. You know, total, my Superion only has 10 damage on it thus far. You know, Fireflight 7-star, or excuse me, 7 damage, and the Skydive has 2 on it, and the Silverbolt has 1. Now he gets a Wheeljack attack on anybody, and he'll probably go after the 2 that, you know, Air Raid or Silverbolt. But I'm fine with that because again, still Superion comes out with a lot of health. So, and then on the wheel turn, everyone stands, and I'll be able to attack the Wheeljack if I want. Okay, so he does use Bastion Shield, and he's really protecting that Fireflight here, but I don't think he realizes about Superion, unfortunately, because, again, his Fireflight is in range to be blasted by the Superion when he comes out with his effect. So that's good for me because, you know, I'm killing the Fireflight, and then the Fireflight is loaded too, so he loses 3 valuable weapons, or he's going to anyway. Let me not get ahead of myself. So we got Wheeljack here, flipping with Bold 3. Wheeljack's not as scary in his version right now because he's not equipping him and loading the Wheeljack up like he's, you know, protecting his Fireflight. So I take, you know, definitely paying attention to that, and definitely relieved that Wheeljack doesn't have an erratic lighting or, you know, something like that to really do some serious damage. I'm going to assume he's attacking Air Raid here. Air Raid has no armor or anything on it, and he has 0 defense. And he has the most health left out of every bot, besides Skydive, on the table, so it would make sense to attack him. He's doing a lot of counting, yep. Still gets the KO anyway. But at this point, I'm in a solid position. We go to stand. I know I always retrieve a sparring gear whenever I can get it because I'm assuming my opponents only usually play 2 Bastion Shield. Yep, so I do flip this turn. Now keep in mind, again, last turn I could have used it, but I decided to use the security checkpoint to get rid of his Bastion Shield that I knew he had in his hand from retrieving it earlier. But then, of course, he got another one off his flips. But now that one's played, he has 1 in his scrap pile, unless he just shuffled. And then he just played 1, so those are his only 2. So unless he draws ramming speed again, my armor should stick this time and be in a solid position. So Superion comes out with 18 damage on the total, 7 from Fireflight, 8 from Air Raid, and then the 2 from Skydive and 1 from Silverbolt. So 18 total. I still got 21 left for him to deal with. Blast the Fireflight. I think right here he mentioned that he should have put the Bastion Shield at least on the Wheeljack, which I agreed with. So here, if I attack the B, he'll take 7 and he'll still live. So let's see what I decide to do here. If I go in on the Wheeljack, I can definitely kill it on the wheel turn after I survive both attacks, which I should. I mean, I only have 18 damage on me again, so. And he flips really good right here. He flips rollout. Card is the best of both worlds on attack and defense. So the Wheeljack looks like he has 3 defense. I'm assuming I attacked Wheeljack. Alright, and Bold 1, so I flip an orange, so I'm 9, Pierce 3, coming at Wheeljack. He takes 6, puts him at 7 damage. And do I decide to get the sparring gear? I'm going to assume I do. I look through his grave to see how many Bastion Shields are gone. Although it kind of doesn't matter, I still need to get it anyway and make him play the Bastion Shield, because if he's playing the Bastion Shield, he's not playing Grenade Launcher, etc. this turn. Or that turn. So I traded Enigma for the sparring gear. Looks like I have Pep Talk and sparring gear in hand. So solid action upgrade to play next turn. Pep Talk will help me dig deeper into my deck for more answers to his bots. Okay, so he plays multi-mission gear. And I feel like that's not legal. There's another one I missed. Oh no, I take that back. Okay, no, he can activate it on him, but he just won't get the additional effect of it. He can play it on him, but he's not a specialist right now. He checks for a weapon. He does have a weapon. He's going in twice. Before he finishes his attack, I have to draw for security console. I decide to stack. Okay, so he has Bolt 2 from backup beam. I had the stack of white so I could dig deeper into my flips. And he flips and he has 9 attack and I have 2, 4, 6, 7. I take 2. Putting my Superion at 20 damage. If I can find it. And then good old Wheeljack coming in, still with no weapon, so I'm not super worried, but I do draw for the security console, decide not to stack. But he does still have bold 3, so that's still scary. So he's a 10 attack. I flip pretty solid again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I take only 1. A Wheeljack attack only had me take 1. So even with a weapon, if he had grenade launcher, I would have only taken 5. So I'm still in a solid position here. And now this turn looks like I can go for the kill on the Wheeljack, if I'm able to. Okay, so I played the bigger they are to guarantee I definitely kill the Wheeljack this turn. And I have bold 1, flip 2 more for the white. So it looks like I'm at 10 attack, pierce 3. And he flips 2 oranges, so he has 2 attacks, so he takes 8, and that KOs the Wheeljack. Now it's B with bold 2 versus Superion at 20 health, or 20 damage. And my Superion is fully loaded right now with this the security console and sparring gear. Feeling pretty confident at this point. He flips B to play an action, and he plays 2 actions. So he plays the bigger they are and press the advantage, and also bashing shield. So he gets rid of my sparring gear again. So he's at 8 attack, pierce 4, attack 8 attack, pierce 4, bold 2. I draw from my console. There's another sparring gear. So see, console with sparring gear puts you in such a great position because you at least always have a card in your hand to be able to trade for a sparring gear when you see it off your flips. Thinking about side decking, I know I'll possibly side deck a 3rd sparring gear. Like my opponent will probably side in a 3rd bashing shield. And it'll just be a war of attrition. We're just battling with trading for our sparring gears. Do we ever even get them always when we see them on our flips? Or do we get something else that's more important? It's going to be very interesting to see how things interact post side decking. Alright, so I put sparring gear on. His graveyard is pretty hefty, so I think the other bashing shield is still in there, which means it's going to be a while before he gets through his deck and he gets the other one. So my turn's pretty simple. I play sparring gear and pep talk, and I attack with 8 attack, bold 2, or excuse me, bold 1, and pierce 3. He flips 2 blues, looks like. So he has 5 defense, so it's a pretty solid flip for him. Alright, so it goes to attack. I draw stack 1 for security console. He shuffles his deck because he decked out. And by the way, just looking at the Nobles Blaster, I was playing 2 Energon Axes at one point, then I cut down to 1, then I cut down to 0 and just played 3 Nobles Blasters. The 1 Energon Axe, you only ever really equipped it on Superion once you're finally combined, so it literally sits in your hand the entire time. There are a lot of times where Nobles Blaster kind of technically just sits in your hand as well, but I wanted to be able to play the Noble Blaster whenever I got it. Most of the time, early game, when your Aerialbots are damaged, they're already tapped, and by the time they stand up, you know, it's really probably not worth putting an Energon Axe on you know, said character. So because you rather just hold it for Superion. So instead of just wanting to hold it, I can at least use it at any time with the Nobles Blaster at any time. Play it at any time, rather. Alright, so it looks like I'm trying to get the game over next turn. I trade Infernal Breath for press the advantage. We stand. Looks like his Bumblebee has 8 damage on it with 2 defense in this mode. Probably not much to think about here. Only have 1 action. Or excuse me, not 1 action. Okay. So I get the B while he's still in bot mode with marksmanship. And then I attack with 8, bold 1 again. He flips no blue. I flipped no oranges, but I'm at 8 attack with the Pierce 3. Yep, and that looks like the game. Moving on to game 2. Alright, so that game was fairly slow, having to attack into that Fireflight as many times as I did, but I did the best I could. You know, I didn't see any arm hovercrafts that game or Inferno Breath, but, you know, I did the best I could with it. At a point, as you saw, I was looking for Field Communicator or trying to dig with Pep Talk for Inferno Breath. That's a card I would like to see absolutely every game, so I could tap down the Fireflight to get use out of him that way, and to use him as my defense shield, being that he has Brave. But I didn't see one, so eventually I had to send him in, unfortunately, without, you know, getting any really value out of him. But, well, I'll take that back. He didn't get value on offense, but he did definitely get value on defense, as my opponent had to attack Fireflight twice, so that worked out. Him not playing direct damage, or if he had direct damage, him not having it helped a lot. That's why direct damage is so important for a card like Fireflight, being with 2 health left. If he had a card like One Shot Stand, One Shot Fall, he could have killed my Fireflight and then went to attack after another bot to put more damage overall on the inevitable Superion. So you don't have to waste attacks. That's the whole point, is about wasting attacks. So he actually decides to go first here. You know, I went first game 1, he goes second, and or excuse me, he goes first in this game. And without even really thinking about it, you know, I'm very happy about that. But I'm happy about it now, looking at it. But at the time, you know, I didn't realize how valuable that was. So he attacks Fireflight because he has to, and he flips, looks like 2 bashing shields. So he has 8 attack. He attacks Fireflight. I have 5 defense, so I take 3. So I still have a solid amount of health on it, not in range of direct damage or anything. And he decides not to get not even 1 bashing shield. So his hand must be that good. He must have ramming speed or what, I don't know. But him not getting any bashing shields makes me very happy at this point, because he has to go through his entire deck before he can get those bashing shields back. So I marksmanship the B while I have the chance to. Unfortunately, I can't get Wheeljack because, as he should be, you know, he's in alt mode just about the whole match, or the whole game rather. Then I attack with Skydive into the B for 3. He takes 2 damage. I decide not to get the Enigma. I know I have 2 more coming up because I played 3, and my hand must be that good. Why didn't, you know, if I had like a useless handheld blaster or something like that, or a security checkpoint, and also 2 or 3 other upgrades in my hand, I could probably get rid of the security checkpoint or handheld blaster or whatever. So, and of course he has the Start Your Engines, great card, best card in the card deck. Untap B, or excuse me, flip B to alt mode, untap the B, and possibly play another action, which he does. He plays Press the Advantage on the Fireflight. Press the Advantage, and Fireflight's getting big. Since when? 5 attack, but no pierce, so the whole attack might be blocked. Yeah, it looks like I have about 7 defense. Yeah, 7 defense, and he has 7 attack, so I blocked it for exactsies. Ew, I can't believe I just said that. And I'm hanging around those guys. You'll never hear me say that again. Hit me for exact damage. Or exact, okay, that's why he had the 1 on. I was thinking, how did he have 1 on his bot? So I made sure not to, normally, you know, I flip Alpha Bravo first because my opponent's not playing any planes, but because he was playing a plane and he wanted to attack in that mode, it was very relevant for me to keep the Alpha Bravo in alt mode until the Fireflight attacked, because he took 1 free damage on him. So then I have my Alpha Bravo, just like game 1, attack with 4 Pierce 3 into the Fireflight, and he's in the same position where Superion can deal with the Fireflight and get rid of it. But until then, most of my attacks won't go through unless I have Inferno Breath or Arm Hovercraft. He really does not like Alpha Bravo. Bold 6 going into Alpha Bravo Was it necessary? Let's find out. Because he's about to go in. Bold 3, white. A lot of mixes here. I think he only hit me for like 11. Yeah, 6, 11. But he still got me for exact. So there's my second Enigma. I need to get this one. Not necessarily need to get it because I know I still have one more, but I decided to get this one here, trading the security checkpoint. And Alpha Bravo's out of here. He's rechecking his flips. He wasn't sure, I guess, if he flipped the correct amount. Or making sure he did anyway. And we're confirmed, we're good to go. But now his Wheeljack's exposed, and that's not usual. I don't know if he really was paying attention from that from the first game, or to that from the first game, but I take full advantage of it here by definitely going in on the Wheeljack. I'm assuming, because he's the threat, the biggest threat in this matchup. Flipping air raid. And never mind, I keep saying that and I keep forgetting that I have to attack Fireflight. So hello, I can't attack the Wheeljack. That's funny. I keep thinking that Fireflight is actually pretty annoying for me. Looks like he defends well. Okay, yeah. I mean, I attacked with my Fireflight anyway, so it's not like my Fireflight was going to get any damage. But now he can't attack Skydive. He has to attack the Fireflight this turn. So hoping he'll survive. Not looking good though. Well, I take that back. It's not that it's not. He used his flip for the turn, so it's not like he used start your engines on the Wheeljack. So the Wheeljack's not coming in hot and heavy this turn. Plays confidence, draws 2, discards 2 cards. He does have the option to activate another action because he started with all Autobots, and looks like he's not going to. And being that he already used his flip and played an action and an upgrade and not an extra one off the confidence, looks like his only option is to attack. And of course this attack is not super strong. He has 6, but my Firefly has tough 2, and I do at least take 1 damage. Or 2 damage rather. Alright, so at this point he has to attack the Fireflight again. Unfortunately, when he does attack it, I'm going to lose my armor, so hopefully I can get another armor fairly soon. But either way, he still has to waste another attack into the Fireflight, which means my Superion will have a lot of damage, or a lot of health. Hovercraft comes down, first time playing that in the entire match. Deal 1 to everybody. And attack into the Fireflight again because I have 2. Flips 1 blue, so 3 defense to my 5 attack. Looks like that's going to KO it. So that was nice. I got a chance to KO the Fireflight without even combining, which puts me even in an even more solid position at this point. So he's going to have to do some serious damage here. Like right now, if he had, you know, 1 shot stand, 1 shot fall, or plasma burst, or, you know, whatever, that'd be very good for him to get rid of the Fireflight and put as much damage extra as possible before I combine. Alright, so does his flip, plays turbo boosters. And he did his Wheeljack flip first, so playing turbo boosters, he didn't have to discard for Wheeljack, draw and discard. So he espionages me, and I made sure to have 2 Enigmas in my hand throughout the towards the end of the game, and he called green going for an Enigma, but as he saw I had 2, he just went to go get something else. Take something else. He took my Nobles Blaster since it didn't matter, since I was going to be able to combine no matter what next turn. Alright, tough 2 versus bold 3. 2 defense, tough 2, 5 attack, bold 3. 6 attack, excuse me. tough 2. So I have 7 defense, but Wheeljack coming at me. He looks like he definitely has more. I see 5 already. So yeah, Fireflight's still out of there. But it's only 2 extra damage overall on my bot, so it's fine. Now if he had something like Steamroll or something, then now we're talking, put me in a dangerous position. Or putting more damage on my Superion, putting me in a dangerous position rather. Alright, so I flip my last bot, play the Enigma, and I get to go all the way in on Wheeljack this turn because it's tapped. So I could probably deal the 3 damage to it and attack it. With our powers combined, we are Captain Planet. It's like, alright, so Superion is formed, and I decided to deal 3 damage to the Wheeljack. Okay. Do I have an upgrade for the turn? I do. I have another sparring gear. Okay. But he hasn't played a bashing shield all game yet, so I'm sure he'll have one soon. So I attack Wheeljack. Yeah, he flips the starter engines and roll out, so a pretty good flip for 3 defense to my 7 attack. So he takes only 4. At this point, if he doesn't untap the Wheeljack to get another attack, once we all stand after B attacks, and I could definitely go kill the Wheeljack on the wheel turn. Alright, plays Supercharge, so okay, he doesn't have an untap effect, but B is coming in hot. Alright, so flips a good amount of oranges. He looks like he has about 11, 12 attack. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 defense. I'll take 4, looks like. His 12 to my 4. Or my 8 rather. So at this point, as you can see, my Superion only has 19 damage counters on it, so he has a lot of work to do. But at this point, I'm going to kill the Wheeljack next turn, so he's going to have to do a lot of work. Like, you know, I haven't even seen Grenade Launcher from him all game. I wonder if he's even playing it. I don't remember seeing it from his flips or anything. Or he might have had it, but it just went too fast. I'm not sure. Alright, so press the advantage. And I'm assuming I attack the Wheeljack. Just ensure I get the kill. I have 9 attack, bold 3. And I end up getting there, KOing the Wheeljack. Get a Nobles Blaster for next turn to trade for the Armed Hovercraft for that 1 extra attack. So not necessarily his do or die turn yet because the B looks like he has maybe 2 turns to live. I can't tell what that dice is. Confidence, scraps Turbo Boosters and Field Communicator. Plays press the advantage. The B is at 9 attack, 10 attack, and then I flip a good couple for my tough. I flip all blue with the white to extend. Looks like I have 9 defense, so I take 1. And unfortunately for him, that's not gonna cut it. So after this, I think he has 1 more turn. Trade the Armed Hovercraft for that, for the Nobles Blaster. Play Enigma, deal 1 more damage. Attack with bold 1. He gets 2 flips. Flips 2 blue here. So 3 defense to my 8 attack. Takes 5. So he has 1 more turn here. And of course, you guys can tell what the end of the match is going to be. You know, he only has 1 more turn. I still have So much health left on my guy, and on my next turn I end up KOing his bot. I'm going to end up KOing his bot. And with that, before the video ends, I just would like to say I appreciate you all for being here and watching this match. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be expecting more content coming soon. The next match is Kyle Gant and his Aerialbots, and I forgot who he's playing against. I'm sorry that it's another Aerialbot deck. That wasn't intentional. I assumed that he was playing Metroplex, and so I had him on camera with his opponent. But it is Aerialbots versus another matchup, so... Alright, so Superion has 24 damage on it. Trade Nose Blaster since I already have one equipped it for the press the advantage. That I'll just use next turn to go up to 10 attack, Pierce 3. Don't need such a high attack because I at least have the Pierce 3, and his B only has 2 defense, or excuse me, 2 health that I need to KO. Showing some respect with a fist bump, and that'll do it for that round. So round 3 will be coming soon. Be expecting that, and I will catch you guys next time. All right, guys, this is S. Dot heading out. Peace.